I just returned from seeing a movie called Sarah's Key, and the reason why I'm making a review of it is I hope other people will see it, either in the theater if it still is available in your community after you watch this video, or when it comes out on DVD. It's a story of a very sad chapter in French history and in Jewish history, World War II, 1942, of the French participating in the roundup of Jews. 270,000 Jews were sent to Auschwitz not to return. The story focuses on this one family that have an apartment in Paris, and the little girl and her brother are playing playfully in the bed, and suddenly the French Gestapo pound on the door and take the family away. But first, the girl hides her brother in a closet, locks the cabinet, and says, "I'll be back for you." Well, they're all taken to camps, and the father and mother obviously are sent to die. The little girl escapes and tries to get back to save her brother. She ends up being helped by a family who finally take her to Paris, and then of course she opens the cabinet, and what she sees there haunts her the rest of her life. There's a journalist who's doing a story on this family, and there's an amazing coincidence of the fact that she's living in the apartment, or her husband's family owned the apartment that this family that was rounded up by the French were deported from, vacated, not willingly, and that's a family secret that was kept. They didn't know the particular family, that the Jews that were rounded up, but it just kind of a weird irony in the part of the story. And the film moves back and forth between the modern day journalist investigating what happened to this family and this girl, tracking down her descendants, and the 1942 story of how this little girl survived and then what happened to her growing up. Very powerful story, but I guess when you see a movie, different things come at you. What struck me was the fact that France was supposed to be an ally. I know that 37%, I believe, of France was occupied by the Nazis, but how the French participated, not all of them, of course. I mean, there's a wonderful, righteous Gentile family who saves this little girl and raised this little girl, but you also see the French shouting out from the windows, "Oh, the Jews deserve this," and then people shouting up, "No, they didn't. Next, they're going to come for us." But still, how does France allow 270,000 Jews to be rounded up and shipped off to Auschwitz? Sad chapter in French history. So that's my major reaction to it. I know the Village Voice did a review and they panned the movie, saying they just played on the Holocaust sentimentality, but I really think it's worth seeing. A very interesting story. The way the movie moves back and forth between modern times and 1942. It's very dramatic, a lot of pathos, and does highlight a very important period of Holocaust history that's not that well known. Sarah's Key.